Hello friends, hello flight simmers, welcome back once again to the iniBuilds A350, back in the 900 again, flying Finnair. Even with a special livery, it has a specific name, I can't remember, it has some complicated Finnish word, but yeah, flying this beautiful A350-900 from Helsinki all the way over to Tokyo Narita. And this one is a little bit special because following a recommendation of one of you guys who had the idea on the flight request channel on my Discord, we are flying the North Polar route, which is pretty fascinating, and I can't remember if I ever done anything just like that before, flying actually over the North Pole. So that's gonna be somewhat special. Now it gets a bit loud. It's AI traffic doing some weird stuff. Yeah, we will. You know what? Let's jump into the flight deck, and there we will look at the EFB and check out the routing and everything related. But I can tell you that much: flight time today is 13 hours and 13 minutes, and so we are once again ramping up our flight time with the A350. Now I believe 13 hours. That's A350 going off. Beautiful. Yeah, 13 hours. That's a pretty decent long haul, right? Still, quite some headroom to the max capacity of this aircraft, but we are getting there. Alright, without further ado, let's jump into the flight deck. I'm just a little bit surprised this aircraft took off on runway... I don't know what this is, but I was expecting they are departing the other direction. But we will check out the weather in just a second. And yeah, by the way, look at this. It's gonna be a sunset departure, and then I think it will be a daytime arrival into Tokyo. Alright, let's kick things off. Alright, here we are on the flight deck. Boarding is progressing. One thing I do not understand is why everything seems to be overbloomed, like over-adjusted in terms of brightness, which did not happen on the previous flights, Microsoft flights in 2024, but now it seems to be the case. Whatever, that's a bit annoying, but it will work. Right, let's look at a few things. Simbrief import. There we go. So we can see the fuel tanks. Yeah, still a bit of headroom, but fairly nicely loaded up. So that let's. Are they coming in? Fuel is fuel loaded. No, it's not. Set fuel. 90.2 tons and 0 fuel weight. Should we do it as well, or should we wait for GSX doing its stuff? Let's wait for GSX, maybe it even gives us the correct 0 fuel weight in the end. OFP. So 13 hours, as mentioned, 13 hours 13 minutes. And let's see, 0 fuel weight, 172 out of 195, and takeoff weight 262 out of 283, so 21 tons shy of max takeoff weight. We have a bunch of step climbs in here. This time I also selected the feature of auto importing the step climbs. Let's see if this works, and we're gonna have them in the FMC later on. And then I am curious, can we see our routing? Oh, that's so bright. Why is it so terribly bright? But we can't see the routing in here, can we? That's a bit frustrating. Okay, so let's actually pull up Navigraph. So getting this one up here. Right. So here we are, Helsinki. Flying out towards the north, essentially. Passing over what is it called, Longyearbyen or something. And then just sort of continuing straight up over the North Pole, and then back towards, I don't know what this sea is called, but then actually going into United States airspace over Alaska, and then eventually crossing into Japanese airspace. Pretty crazy journey in a way. And I know there are things to consider when doing this kind of a flight, especially when it comes to alternates. But I am thoroughly unprepared in a way. But yeah, I guess it's quite interesting flying over the North Pole. Unfortunately, I believe for most of the flight it will be darkness. Would be pretty cool to see it during daytime as well, but yeah, it is what it is. Right, so that's the plan, and yeah, let's actually continue in here. So let's see, flying the Trent XWB 84, of course, being in the 900. We are on the correct Iraq, line IRS, clear info, active, init, company flight plan request. Flight plan received, and insert Finnair 73. Right, cruise level 340 initially. Company wind request. Insert, and then let's go. Where do we start? I want to have a current META if that's possible. Yeah, we even have VETSIM 8 as we are flying offline. I could potentially do it online as well, but never mind. However, I'm not sure if we are on the current weather. I'm always getting confused with the... Yeah, because I believe we have historic weather and not live weather. So how would I get this one in here? So in here it says 280-15. Is that the one we have in here? To 78. Okay, so that's a different one. So I figure that the one we have in here is the conditions we have in the sim, which is quite nice because that's what we need. Well, 280 at 15, so this pretty clearly makes us depart runway 22 right. I wonder why the other traffic just didn't do it in a minute ago, but we will do 22 right, that's for sure, and that's, as far as I know, the standard departure runway out of Helsinki. So departure, runway 22 right, and then we are flying the Tefru departure. Oh, there we need to go. Tefru for November. Insert. Right. We will check out the charts in just a second. And then for the arrival, although that's 13 hours away, we will select 34 right. And let's see, we have the Supoct arrival. ILS 34 right. Supoct via, I think Elgar is quite convenient for us. Of course, we will look at the charts when they get there. No transition. Okay. Right. That is that. Back to init. So we have departure navigates fuel and loads. Let's see, block fuel. 90.2 tons. Now for the zero fuel, we wanted to check if boarding is actually doing it. I'm unsure. Is it set? I'm not sure. It's, oh, now it's going crazy. Oh, I had it. 172.3. We need to double check this later on. 172.3. Is that boarding completed? Sound like it. Let's make sure this is set. 172.3 and center of gravity 27.35. 27.35, I believe we round up in that case. PAX number 310. I don't know how many seats Finnair actually has in these aircrafts. Right. Whole lot of calculations going on, but this looks good. Arrival fuel 8 tons. Alternate 2.5. It seems very plausible as well. Right, so that's in there. And takeoff performance. But there's one more thing I want to check, which is the step climbs. Cruise step altitude, there it is. Wow, that took me a while to fetch it. Double checking with sim brief. So first one at 80 north to 1 east to 360 in deck mode 37, UG 380 and Nades 390, and there are some more after that. Not sure if they're in here. No, it actually seems like this is limited to 4 step climbs, which is a bit strange, but apparently that's the way it is. So we will do the last ones manually then. Right, then let's make sure the APU is fired up. This can come to on. Then we will do the performance calculation for the takeoff. So that's synced. And to right is synced as well. Compute. Flaps 1 plus F. 145, 146, 153, flex 42. Trimmable horizontal stabilizer 30.7. Just one thing I quickly want to check, which are the thrust reduction acceleration. So they use NADP1 here at Helsinki. Thrust reduction 1680 and acceleration 3180. So that's what we need to enter here in it. Takeoff performance. Company requests. Oh, I thought it would catch it from the EFB. Flaps 1, takeoff. Ah, okay, so this gives me different values than I believe. Interesting. Let's give it a try, but then we will take the EFB data. Receive takeoff data. Yeah, that's Toga. So that's different values, but interesting that we can do it this way. I wasn't aware. Reminds me how it was done back in the FS Labs, actually, where you could request it through the MCDU. Right, send to flight management system. That's what we are looking for. Flex 42, 45, 46, 53, 30.7 should be. Oh, it's not auto trimmed yet. PAX on, and then thrust reduction is 1680 and acceleration 3180. Alright, flaps 1, that's fine. Okay, so that's all done, and now let's have a brief look at the departure chart. I'm using Navigraph Charts now just because I'm more used to that. And can we just trim it down? I need to do the other displays as well, maybe that's why. Departure. Which one was it? Tefru for November. There we go. So, out of 2 to right at 2.5 DME Helsinki N680. We do a right-hand turn. And then we have a constraint maximum 250 at Hotel Kilo 934. Okay, we're just gonna be 185. We're just accelerating at this point. Okay. And then out to Tefru with no more constraints. So should be fairly easy in a way. Let's make it less bright. And they are tuned up to maximum brightness, which is a little bit much, given that the sun is setting already. Alright, that looks much better. So 1013 there was actually the correct altimeters. Let's do something generic in here, like 10,000 or something. Doesn't matter too much. And then we will ask for pushback as well. Oh, that was not even triggered, was it? Departure clearance requested, alright. Right, of course, then we need to run some checklists, but we also need to get ready up here. Now I was maybe a little bit quick in some regards. So these fellas come on. Beacons as well.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Chocks and toggle slide arming. Alright. Checklist before start. Gear pins and covers removed. Fuel quantity 90.2 is checked. Takeoff data set by reference set 1013. Doors are closed. Parking brake is still set but coming off in a second. So that's checklist complete. Transponder we need to set as well. So let's go 1000. Enter and then auto. TA only. Good stuff. Facing northeast.
Release parking brakes, please. Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at wheel.
And off we go. Beautiful. Beautiful stuff. Yeah, I think the sun has just set behind the horizon, but that's gonna be a beautiful departure. Maybe I should have done this flight online. I guess next time. Next time we fly the A350 we will be going online. I feel confident enough now flying this aircraft. Alright, let's fire up the beautiful trends. Just double checking the overhead, but that's all looking good. Beacons are on. Let's start with number 1. Airport map loading. I keep forgetting about all these cool features in this aircraft. Let's go constraint, traffic. And constraints and traffic as well. Right, then we will taxi via, what is that? Alpha Hotel, Alpha Victor, Victor Hotel. No, that's Alpha Victor, so Alpha Hotel, Victor Hotel, Zulu. And then a little bit further, and Zulu Golf, crossing the other runway. Ah, now it's the auto trim. Okay, got it. That makes sense when the hydraulics kick in, of course. Okay, engine number 1 is available, starting number 2.
Please set parking brakes.
Nice. Yeah, so this is also an older aircraft.
Unlocking gear.
Or old is relative, it's not really old, it's, I think it has like 7 years. But this means we're flying the short sharklets. Or is it sharklet or winglet on the Airbus A350? I think it's sharklet, not sure. Okay, they actually pushed us back quite a bit, so we could also take a left here, but it, I think, makes no difference. Right, we have 2 good engine starts. That's a beautiful thing. So starter back to normal. APU bleed off, APU master off. I haven't even checked for anti-ice conditions, but I figure it's quite cold, 7 degrees, but clouds are high up, so that's alright. Up here everything is looking good. Auto brake, RTO, flap 1, trim is set. Doing a flight control check. Full left, full right, full up, full down. Forgot the spoilers, we will fix that in a second. Rudder full left and full right. Spoilers are armed. And signs. Oh yeah, the mobile phones, of course. Right. And they are leaving. Let's taxi lights. And TO config, yeah, we can already do it. TO config normal. Do we have an after start checklist? I believe so. Yes, we do. Anti-ice not required. Rest is checked. Before takeoff will be next. Alright. Park and brake. And let's go. Okay, we are getting there. Let's go into surveillance. TARA. Tickets norm is fine. So that's set. Management system. Oh, come on, these click spots are a little bit hard from time to time. Let's set the lights. Like that. Hoping that there's no aircraft landing, but usually they don't land on the same runway here in Helsinki. Before takeoff, flight control checked, flight instruments checked, briefing confirmed. 1 VR, V2 and thrust rating are set, squawk mode is set. Takeoff runway 22 right is identified. Let's do the lineup first. Nice, that's gonna be beautiful. Look at this, departing into the sunset. Cabin crew advised, packs are on. Checklist complete. Right, guys. Let's... Do we need to do anything else? I don't think so. Let's go flying. Just want to adjust my viewpoint a little bit here. Like that. And off we go. Flex 42, SS runway, auto thrust blue. Nice sound. Ooh, it's a bit laggy. That's 100 knots.
V1.
Rotate. Oh, it's quite a bumpy runway. And we're a little bit of a crosswind. We're airborne. Nice. And up we go. Very brief look. We need to turn. Oh, that's gorgeous. Oh man. That is gorgeous. But we need to turn pretty soon. Look at this. How good flight sim has become. Right hand turn. Let's see if it's actually... it's not quite Airbus-like, is it? Because when I put it to a certain roll, I do expect it to stay there, which is the A350 is not doing perfectly. Overturned there a little bit. Yeah, see, now I'm not touching the stick, and we're banking left. That's not the way it's supposed to be. That is certainly not the way it's supposed to be in an Airbus. But it won't kill us today, at least. Look at this beauty. Nice. Stuff. Okay, let's go autopilot. Speeding up now. Man, I have to admit, I'm more impressed by the sim itself than the A350 on this flight. This looks absolutely spectacular. The aircraft, I mean, it's still a good aircraft, but yeah, this first time I noticed that it's not quite Airbus-like, where you like put it in a certain angle and it just stays there. But I guess that can be fixed in the future. Let's see for auto retraction. I believe we checked it last time as well, right? But it should work. Yeah, there it goes. Let's go flaps up. Right, let's disarm the crown spoilers. And then we run the after takeoff checklist. And I give a bear reference. It's not set, but it is standard already, so that will be fine. Yeah, 250, there it goes, standard. So let's complete the checklist. Go. So crew starting out at, what was it, 360. Let's put this in here. Let's get it displayed for weather as well. Looks brilliant. Really, really brilliant. Alright guys, I'm gonna let you enjoy this beautiful evening departure, and then we will eventually cross the North Pole and hopefully make it to Tokyo Narita. So enjoy the cruise and I will catch you later. Hello folks, welcome back as we are diving towards Tokyo Narita, and yeah, long cruise. The good thing is I am really positively surprised by how stable the Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 is right now, and this is running the Sim Update 1, the official release, and also this is running the iniBuilds, I think 1.0.2 it was the latest release. And it's super stable, especially because it doesn't get laggy. I remember back in Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, or often after a long flight, things got really laggy, but this is not the case in the new sim, and I'm really happy about that. It makes a big difference flying long hauls. Yeah, so I did this once again as an overnighter myself. The downside is that I do miss certain periods of the flights with possibly spectacular views, so I actually slept through us crossing the North Pole, which would have been interesting to see, but yeah, it is what it is. It just allows me to do recordings more efficiently and to actually fly a bit more long hauls as well, so I'm making use of that right now. Alright, we are about to pass flight level 10,000 feet. We are below transition already. And yeah, let's quickly run through a few things. So, where do we start? Landing maybe. Conditions 350 at 11. We're gonna land runway 34 right. So this is pretty much a headwind, which makes it good for us to land. Let's put on the landing lights. 12 degrees 1023. I've selected config 3 today, since we're not super heavy right now, and I feel like on all the landing calculations I did so far in the A350, it really seems like the A350 does not require a really long runway, which is cool. So it seems like it's really capable of shorter airfields as well. And I have set up the BTV as well. Should we start there, or maybe with the charts? Maybe for the sake of good order, let's start with these charts. We are flying the Supok E. However, you can see from Supok I went direct to Elgar, and then from Elgar it's gonna be the ILS runway 34 right. So Elgar 5000, which we have selected, and then it's just a sort of 90-degree right-hand turn onto the final approach course. Pretty straightforward. The go around is a little bit interesting. So climb to 700 only, and then a big right-hand turn to intercept the 905 radial to Bospa, climbing to, oh wow, 8,000. That's pretty high for go around. 8,000 feet. Okay, interesting. But yeah, that's what we'll do, and then. For the land, oh sorry, this one. Yeah, then we will No, that's not the best chart to look at, to be honest. There's a better one. All the taxiways. Which one to use exactly? Taxi routes, arrival runway 34 right. That's the one. So coming from 34 right, we will taxi Charlie, we will stay on Charlie all the way to Echo 6, take a left-hand turn on Papa, and then Tango 9 and 8 to stand, I've got the number now, but it's, I think 63, that's what I looked up. So that's what we are planning. Now we're getting there quickly, which is nice. Quickly looking into BTV. I've set it up already. You can see BTV is armed, but we can quickly have a look together. Right, so runway is selected, and I've selected Bravo 4, which was just at the wet line, which is now not indicated for whatever reason. But Bravo 4 was just at the wet line for landing, so that's what we will exit. And other than that, yeah, once again I noticed you really need to set up both. You need to set up this page and also do the landing performance calculation, and then the figures are aligned, which they are not even. See, here it is landing speed 35 plus 5 140. Here it's the approach 145. So there's still, okay, now it's back to 140. Yeah, it's strange. I don't really have the highest confidence in these figures from time to time. But we will do config 3 and approach speed 140. It should do the trick. Approach checklist has been completed. We are on local altimeters. Let's put on those ones as well. Other than that, there's a bit of traffic. Is he ahead of us? I need to keep an eye out for him, see where he is going. Passing through some clouds, 2 degrees. Let's go engine anti-ice. Yeah, one more thing I found out is in Helsinki I trimmed all these displays manually for the brightness. There's actually a really convenient switch down here for mast brightness, and then you can select all of them at the same time, which is super convenient. Makes things a lot easier. Right. Looking forward to it. Another landing in the A350, third landing now. Third time ILS, so I think for the next one I'm kinda ready to do some more challenging approaches. And a question to you guys, so which are the most interesting and challenging arrivals the A350 is flying? I know that they have some interesting airports where they are flying to, so out of Johannesburg on a long haul would be pretty cool, since it's hot and high conditions. I think over to the US would be cool out of Johannesburg. I think Iberia is flying into Quito, which is also pretty interesting airport since it's also very high up. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any other airports in mind which are sort of not the normal big airfield ILS standard approach sort of things, then let me know. And then also, as promised, for the next flights I will start looking into some bets and flying as well. Yeah, look at this, how low our green dot speed is. So we are pretty light. 185 tons. How does this translate into landing weight? 185 out of 207. Okay, but it's actually not so far away. Okay, he's lower, but he's just crossing through, so not sure. Let's go flap 1 plus F. Approach. still a bit of way to cover, so we don't need to be terribly slow right now. Okay, that should be the glide slope. Just a second. There is glide slope star, and then this one goes all the way to 8,000. Still in cloud, so leaving engine anti-ice on for the time being. And recorder I need to start, of course. So that's recording. Yeah, so for recording the videos I typically lock the FPS to 30. Also since I'm running the recording through my GPU, and then I always have a bit of headroom in my GPU to actually run the recording. But it keeps stable at 30 FPS, which is nice, and then we can see the experience is rather smooth. So I am really happy with the performance of Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. Okay, so other traffic is landing on the other runway. That's nice for us. Can we actually spot him? I can't see it. Hard to pick out. Okay. Still pretty high. It's a long approach. Alright, flaps 2, back to managed speed. Let's see, yeah, let's drop the gear. Get a bit more drag. Spoilers need to be armed, of course. Nice and easy. Those fellas can come off. Taxi lights. This is all set. And flaps 3. We approach 140. Which one do we like? Actually, this one, in case of a go round. It's nice to see it. Alright, let's landing checklist. Cabin crew advised, auto thrust speed, auto brake BTV, runway conditions are set as well. Checklist complete. Let's do some flying.
1,000.
We could try manual thrust. I haven't tried that yet in the A350, so why not? Okay, my aircraft. Let's see how the aircraft feels on manual thrust as well. Oh. It's a little bit bumpy. We have this quite often flying into Narita, I remember. Oh yeah.
500.
Interesting. Now we're gonna pass the chicken farmer, I believe, just up there to the left before the runway starts. I think that's a chicken farmer refusing to sell his land or something like this.
100 above.
I remember a story.
300.
Continue. So thrust is super easy to control.
Minimum.
Continue. It's just a little bit bumpy.
200.
But right on profile.
100.
A little bit high.
50. 40, 30, 20,
Maybe flared a little bit too early.
10, 5,
And there we go, nice. Reverse. Reverse screen. And let's see when the BTV is kicking in. Should be kicking in rather hard now. There we go, there we can see the brake pressure coming up. And idle forward. Perfect. I love BTV. It's such a great feature. Not having to worry about where to exit. Nice, I'm happy with that. So yeah, feels nice. Manual thrust feels really nice. I know that on Airbus many people are flying auto thrust. I can only recommend to do it manual from time to time. It's quite fun actually. And yeah, but aircraft itself, just as we noticed out of Helsinki, it does not feel 100% Airbus-like. It's a little bit unstable when putting it to a certain pitch and roll. Let's hope they fix it soon. Switch to taxi routes. Oh, it's also so nice to have the EFB here. I can really start feeling why they designed the flight deck the way they did. It really makes a lot of sense. Okay, let's get rid of the speed brakes. Landing lights, taxi lights. Strobes back to auto. Alright. Is there an after landing? There is indeed. After landing. APU, yeah, okay. I guess we could, then we can do a single engine taxi, and once again it's a bit of a taxiway to go. Alright, here we are. We are supposed to go further, but actually we took it too far already a little bit. So never mind that. Parking brake is set. We can kill engine number 1. APU bleed is coming on. Fuel pumps coming off like this. Mobile devices, seat belts, beacons. And this is all looking good. Checklist. Oh yeah, this one is complete. And then the parking checklist, of course. External lights are set, parking brakes are set, transponder. That's something I need to do. Although I've checked it now already. But let's go into surveillance and put it on standby. Right. Okay, cool. Then let's ask for deboarding. And let's see, ground page, ground power unit, chocks. And I believe the doors are handled automatically. Yes, that looks good indeed. Oh, and just noticed something regarding the hydraulics, because was that just on auto on? Yellow electric pump because we have switched off engine number 2? Oh, that's something I need to double check next time we do the single engine taxi in procedure. That was quite interesting. Right, and so that's that. Welcome to Tokyo Narita, guys. Yeah, it was fun. I do enjoy the A350 a lot. It's a nice aircraft to fly. Although there's been a bit of shit chat going on in the community lately with Phoenix stating that they would have been able to make a much better A350, and I totally believe them. I think Phoenix A350 would be much better in terms of quality, but I mean there's a price to pay for it, and that price is time, right? So if Phoenix decides to do an A350, I'm more than happy to buy it, but I'm sure it will take 2 or 3 years to get it done. So in the meantime we will fly this one, and let's see, maybe one day we will have 2 A350s available, but at the moment it does not seem like it. I think they are staying away from the A350 for now. Right, but it's a cool aircraft, and once again, if you have any interesting airports or approaches to fly with the A350, let me know. Then we can do a bit more challenging stuff as well. And yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful week, and I will catch you next weekend. Bye bye.